Hey, this is Don from Padlock Technologies again with another video. This time we're going to talk about the difference between PAC-based and REST API TrustSec. So basically, these are two methods to get the environmental data and TrustSec policies, right? Now, there's two ways to do it. Now, in ICE 3.4, there is PACless, but I haven't done PACless yet. I understand the concept, but I kind of lean more towards the REST API way. I like that way, but again, to each his own. So what's the difference? So the difference in PAC based and HTTP REST API based is there's no PAC in the latter, right? You don't have to worry about a PAC file. You're going to be doing a REST API call to get that information from ICE down to whatever the enforcement point is. With the pack based one, first of all, you're using Eat Fast in the background, and Eat Fast uses TLS 1.0. Well, ETLS, or not ETLS, or TLS 1.0 is not secure anymore, right? So Cisco technically turned it off in ICE. So even if you try to do this with 3. I think 3.0 and up, TLS 1.0 is turned off, so you wouldn't even be able to get that information because you won't be able to get the pack file, right? Now, from a security standpoint, you have to make the decision, hey, do I actually want to turn on TLS 1.0? If the answer is no, then you're kind of resorting to REST API method, right? And with the REST API method, what you're basically going to do is you're going to install the uh, whoever signed the admin certs for your PSNs. So you're going to take that CA certificate, install it on your NAD, whatever the switch is. Then you're going to do a couple of policy server commands. Then once you do the policy server command, it will reach out to ICE. And then once ICE gets or authenticates it, it will then push the environmental data down to the switch, and then you can do your policies based on that. So you don't have to worry about pack files anymore. Now, there is a little con of it because each enforcement point now has to have a unique ID. And if you don't have a unique ID, what ends up happening is when you try to use the same ID, it will say, hey, some other NAT in your environment is using that ID, so you can't use it. So this is not, so if you have thousands of switches, you're going to have to think about your TrustSec policy. Do you want to have it all the way down at the access layer, or do you want to have it somewhere up in the maybe the distro layer to do some kind of enforcement there? It really depends on where you want to do your enforcement at that point. Most people are not going to do it on 1,000 switches. So I'm going to show you the difference between the two. So we have pack base here. If I say show CTS packs, you see the pack, right? So this is the pack file that I got. Pack stands for protected access credentials. So this is the pack file that I would need, right? Then if I do show CTS environmental data, here's all the environmental data, right? With some SGTs that I've created here, and then you have your default ones in here. Next one, I'm going to go down to this 9KV. I'm going to go right in here, right? So if I do show CTS pack, no pack file whatsoever, okay? But if I go show CTS environmental data, same environmental data that you saw from the pack file, right? Now, what's the difference? Well, the difference is I am doing REST API on this one. So if I go show crypto certificates or CA certificates, let's see, is it, let me see, crypto, I think it's PKI certificates, there we go. So here's a certificate that I downloaded here. Now this is also coming from the ICE node, but there's a CA cert in here too, which is this one here. So I installed this CA cert, and then I got this other cert when I did the policy server commands. Right. So if I do show CTS policy server, and then I go do I want to do statistics or do I want to show you details? So I'll do details all. So this is the REST API method. Again, when you do this type of stuff, you will see the trust chain. This trust chain. I got this trust chain the minute I actually activated it on the switch when I did the CTS. What is it? I think the CTS role based enforcement all, or enforcement and enforcement VLAN all. Once I did that, after I did the CTS commands or the policy server commands, it reached out to the server and got all this. That's how I got all this information. This is automatically populated. Now, if I do the statistics, let me just make sure all, there we go. These are statistics. These are, you know, the request sent. You don't see any failure. Well, 2 failed in the beginning. And then stuff that I received. We got handshake error. This is probably when I first did all this. And then we got the good one down here. Yeah, this says state is alive. I sent one, I received one, and I'm okay here, which is okay. So that's good. So let's just show you what these CTS commands look like from here. I could have gave you a little better. So here's all the CTS commands. Here's the server name that you are, the policy username that you got to put in here, and that has to be in ICE under the net under REST, the HTTP REST. Here's my another unique ID. Here's the trust point configurations that I had to create. So you do policy server, give it a name. I did it by the FQDM because I'm doing domain lookup on the switch, and then I call the trust point that I actually created. Then here's the CTS role-based enforcement commands that you put in here, and then you do CTS environment data enable. Once you do that, that's it'll reach out to ICE, and then you'll get your environmental data. The difference here is I do show run CTS. You got to do credentials, and then you have to do a password. Then you have to make sure your authorization list is there. So CTS, which is different here. So you have to have this authorization list in your AAA configurations. So this would be AAA authorization network CTS group, whatever your radius group is. Then you need to do your, you know, role-based enforcement. It's still the same role-based enforcement. Don't worry about this XPS stuff because this is just XXP. This has nothing to do with it. These are the 3 commands that you would need here. And then if you want to actually look at your CTS credentials, these are the credentials that I would put in. Obviously, it doesn't show you the password that I use, but you have to put the credentials in there. That's basically CTS credential ID, whatever the username is, whatever the password is. And then under your radius servers, so we just go run AAA. If you go to your radius servers, you have to do this PAC key right here. All right, so you have to do that. On REST API, hopefully I didn't copy and paste this. REST API, yeah, so REST API, you don't need a PAC because it's no PAC whatsoever. So you don't really need to do PAC. That's the benefit of doing the REST API method. You don't have to worry about PAC files and stuff like that. The cons of it is you have to put the CA certificate on the switch. After that, you have to do your policy server configurations. Now, you don't need to use FQDN. You can use the IP address, and then you have to just do it on every switch, and then every switch has to have its own unique ID, but that's not really a con because even on the PAC one, everybody has to have their own unique ID. Now for here, I don't think I have any permissions here. So if I go to CTS role-based permissions, I don't think I have any rules here. Yeah, I haven't pushed anything down yet. But then after you get everything ready to go, it's really the same commands after that, right? Right. So it's the same commands that you would want to do. If you want to go, you know, role-based SGT all, same commands, right? That, whoops, I don't know why I did that. See, same commands. Nothing changed. The only difference is how you get the environmental data. So if I were you, if it were me, I would do the REST API method. I'm still going to toy around with the pack list method that's in 3.4. Right now, I'm doing 3.3 in this environment. But I will say do REST API. It's a lot cleaner, per se. And you don't have to worry about using a less secure protocol like TLS 1.0. And that's the comparison in a nutshell. Pack based versus non-pack based. And I hope you like this video. Don't forget to share, comment, like, and subscribe. I'm going to put out more videos about security, routing, stuff like that. You know, put a comment in this video to see, kind of give me some more ideas of some videos that you want me to do. I'm going to do a video about MPLS SR right after this. So that's going to come out right after I finish doing this video. This is Don from Padlock Technologies. Thank you and have a nice day.